The Universal Declaration of Human Rights, proclaimed in 1948 by the United Nations Organization, represents a milestone in the progress of human civilization and defines religious freedom as the individual's right not only to change religion or belief, but also to manifest his religion or belief in teaching, practice, worship, and observance only with the permission of the person and not by force. Every day, the issue defending human rights and religious freedom is becoming more relevant in a world where people from different religions and cultures interact in both secular and religious influenced countries where apostasy is still considered as a crime. In fact, the profound fidelity to each one's belief does not hamper the acceptance of a plurality of ways of seeing the world. And diversity in matters of religion or belief cannot be considered superficially as a mere variety of external rights, but as ways of life that correspond to different views on the ultimate meaning of life, on the existence or non-existence of the divine being, on how to achieve happiness for themselves and for their fellow humans, and on countless other questions. Each human being, in fact, gives shape to his or her life by answering crucial questions and has the right to find the answer in a system of thoughts as a result of a rational research, or through a revealed message as it is expressed in several religions. Since freedom is the main feature of human rights, the respect for human dignity in individual as well as communities implies that each person should have the right to freely find his or her own ways in all fields of human life, and particularly in the field of religion, in the field of, as well as in the field of conscience and belief. This includes the freedom to adopt or change a religion, to try to persuade other, including through missionary activities, to express one's belief in public or in private or in public, to manifest their convictions, to educate their children in conformity with their beliefs, and even to abandon a religious community altogether. It is in fact part of human nature, an inner desire to overcome the barriers of a limited world and to find a global, transcendent meaning in life, as it emerges in a religious system as described by the Catholic Church in a document of Vatican II. Men expect from various religions answer to the unsolved riddles of the human condition, which today, even in former times, deeply stir the hearts of men. What is man? What is the meaning, the aim of our life? What is moral good? What's sin? When suffering, and what purpose does it serve? Which is the road to happiness, to true happiness, without death, judgment, and retribution after death? What finally is that ultimate, inexpressible mystery which encompasses our existence? Whence do we come, and where are we going? It is this natural desire to have such question answered, which is present from ancient times down to the present among various people, that should be defined as basic human right in the form of religious freedom. In order to approach the issue, there is a preliminary question about the universality of human rights and their grounding in the universal structure of human nature. In other words, can we speak of natural law? The issue has been a topic of a lengthy discussion among jurists and philosophers, and it is central to the debate among those who are trying to define where, in the preamble, emerges inalienable rights of human beings that transcend the positive law and of states, and which should be kept as a reference and norm. Such rights are not simply granted by the legislator. They are declared. That is, the objective existence that they already have prior to the ruling of the legislator is made manifest. In fact, they derive from the acknowledgement of dignity inherent in all the members of the human family. This seems to be a sort of super-rational set of inherent, supranational set of inherent and inalienable rights for every human being, or a natural law document which was put into paragraph by representatives from all the world, from all regions and religions. Consequently, the idea of universal human rights refers to the concept of humanity having a common law based on the human nature and known simply through human reason. The idea is that there is a natural law prior to all positive juridical determination is already found in classic Greek culture. It then developed with Plato and Aristotle and through the Stoics, for whom it became the key concept for a universal ethic. In the Roman context, Cicero states that natural law is the supreme reason inserted in nature which enjoins on us that what must be done and possibly and prohibits the contrary. Consequently, nature and reason constitute the two sources of our knowledge of fundamental ethical law, which is of divine origin as expressed in Middle Ages by Thomas Aquinas, who was able to critically refer to natural law as expressed by Platonic, Aristotelian, and Stoic traditions. For Thomas, natural law, lex naturalis, is the way to share the eternal law present in the mind of God. The natural law is nothing, I quote, nothing else than the rational creature's participation of eternal law. A similar vision can be detected in Islam in the concept of nature, fitra, as expressed in the Quran and the Hadith, as belonging to human being even before his being a Muslim. This concept is connected with the principles of Sharia, usul al-Sharia, or the goals of Sharia, maqasid al-Sharia, which are the universal intention of the divine legislator. In fact, Muslim canonists in the Middle Ages distinguished between the goals and the decisions of Sharia. This allows the intention to be preserved, relativizing the implementation, and find a new way for sharing basic ethical and juridical principles with people of other religions. Religious freedom as natural right seems to find its root in the holy books and tradition of the major religions, where tolerance, freedom, and respect are the key words for understanding this particular human right. This is part of the Christian tradition, where love for God and for each other, as well as a clear distinction between the claims of God and the claims of the state, are part of the early Christian teaching. There is a concern for the respect of this freedom in the writings of Tertullian, who states, "We give offense to the Romans as we are excluded from the rights and privileges of the Romans because we do not worship the gods of Romans." And recurs in a text of a modern Christian philosopher, John Locke, a strong supporter of religious toleration, who in his letter concerning toleration, we heard about that, wrote, "The mutual toleration of Christians in their different professions or religions, I esteem that tolerance to be the chief characteristic mark of the true church, and particularly if he be destitute of charity, meekness, and goodwill in general towards all mankind, even to those who are not Christians, he is certainly yet short of being a true Christian himself. And no man can be a Christian," again I quote, "no man can be a Christian without charity and without that faith which works not by force, but by love." Recently, this love and respect reemerged among Catholics when a positive attitude towards the followers of other religions becomes the basis for interreligious dialogue, as promoted by the Second Vatican Council. In our time, when day after day, mankind is being drawn closer together, and these ties and the ties between different peoples are coming stronger, the Church examines more closely her relationship to non-Christian religion. In her task of promoting unity and love among men, indeed among nations, she considers above all in this declaration what men have in common and what draws them into fellowship. There will be no peace and welfare for humanity without respect for religious tolerance. Again, I quote from the Council. This Council greets with joy the first of these two facts, respect, as among the signs of time. With sorrow, however, it denounces the other fact as only to be deplored. The Council exhorts Catholics and it directs a plea to all men most carefully to consider how greatly necessary religious freedom is, especially in present conditions of the human family. All nations are coming into even closer unity. Men of different culture and religion are being brought together in closer relationships. There is a growing consciousness of the personal responsibility each man has. All this evident. Consequently, in order that relationships of peace and harmony be established and mankind and maintained within the whole of mankind, it is necessary that religious freedom be everywhere provided with an effective constitutional guarantee, and that respect be shown for the high duty and right of man freely to lead his religious life in society. In the Islamic tradition, the importance of accepting a pluralistic world, which is clearly expressed in the Quran. If Allah had willed, He would have made you a single people, but His plan is to test you in what He has given to you. It is also the Quran that supports religious freedom. No compulsion in religion. La ikraha fid din. Rectitude has become clear from error. And another text. So let whosoever will believe, and let whosoever will disbelieve. The emphasis on this fundamental right appears also in the Universal Islamic Declaration of Human Rights proclaimed in Paris in 1981. Every person has the right to express his thoughts and beliefs as long as it remains within the limits prescribed. Respect as among the signs of time. With sorrow, however, it denounces the other fact as only to be deplored. The Council exhorts Catholics and it directs a plea to all men most carefully to consider how greatly necessary religious freedom is, especially in present conditions of the human family. All nations are coming into even closer unity. Men of different cultures and religion are being brought together in closer relationships. There is a growing consciousness of the personal responsibility each man has. All this evident. Consequently, in order that relationships of peace and harmony be established and mankind and maintained within the whole of mankind, it is necessary that religious freedom be everywhere provided with an effective constitutional guarantee, and that respect be shown for the high duty and right of man freely to lead his religious life in society. In the Islamic tradition, the importance of accepting a pluralistic world, which is clearly expressed in the Quran. If Allah had willed, He would have made you a single people, but His plan is to test you in what He has given to you. It is also the Quran that supports religious freedom. No compulsion in religion. La ikraha fid din. Rectitude has become clear from error. And so, and another text, so let whosoever will believe, and let whosoever will disbelieve. The emphasis on this fundamental right appears also in the Universal Islamic Declaration of Human Rights proclaimed in Paris in 1981. Every person has the right to express his thoughts and belief as long as it remains within the limits prescribed by the law. And, this is interesting, no one should hold in contempt or ridicule the religious beliefs of others, to incite public hostility against them. Respect for the religious feeling of others is obligatory on all the Muslims. Recently, in the Al-Azhar Declaration on the Future of Egypt, is asked the future state institution a full commitment to protecting and full respecting places of worship of the followers of the three heavenly religions, to safeguarding the free and unrestricted practices of all religious rites, to respecting different worship practices without deeming the people's culture and tradition. It is also relevant that in another declaration by the same university, it is stated that freedom of belief and the right connected to it of full citizenship for everyone, based on absolutely equality in rights and duties, is considered the cornerstone of a modern social order. This freedom, guaranteed by durament and ever valid religious text and by explicit constitutional and juridical principle. Each individual in society has the right to embrace the ideas he prefers as a document, provided it does not harm the right of the society to preserve the heavenly faiths. The same attitude of respect for other religions is also present in the Chinese culture, profoundly marked by Taoism, which underlines the importance of harmony with nature, material, and spiritual. And Confucianism, where the perfect virtue of humanity is attained by self-control and by benevolence towards all others. Tolerance and respect for others' belief is also part of the Buddhist tradition, where according to Buddha, religion should be left to one's own free choice, and where relations among human beings and the entire universe should be based on an attitude of nonviolence, as well as friendly benevolence and compassion. He himself said, accept the truth whenever is available, support everybody irrespective of their religion. In the political realm, the Buddhist vision of religious freedom was stated by the edicts of the King Ashoka, where we read, all and respect doctrines of other religions. King Ashoka desires all to be well learned in good doctrines of other religions. In this context, a Buddhist scholar, Umo Unno, shows the Buddhist contribution to the concept of human rights by saying, the fact that Buddhist tradition in its past history had a little to say about personal rights in the current sense of the term does not mean that Buddhists were not concerned with human well-being, with the dignity and autonomy of the spirit. In fact, throughout its long history, in spite of some dark and unsavory moments, Buddhism has taught the path whereby all forms of existence, animate or inanimate, would be able to radiate the shine their own natural light. The respect of the different religion tradition is part of the Hindu tradition as well, where a plurality of divinities and ceremonies has always lived side by side with greatest respect for each other. Moreover, the Hindu concept of universal non-violence, ahimsa, which is considered the highest achievement for the human being, leads to respect for every creature, which would be considered part of oneself, and treated consequently according to the principle, you shall not do to another what you regard as harmful for yourself. This is in brief the rule of virtue. And in another text, let him say what is true, let him say what is pleasing, let him utter no disagreeable truth, and let him utter no agreeable falsehood. That is the eternal law. In fact, we are witnessing in this religion several movements involved in the process of promoting universal tolerance and an ideological approach to different faiths and opinions. For instance, consider the Fethullah Gulen movement in Islam, which has promoted several interreligious encounters all over the world. In fact, religious pluralism and tolerance seem to be the two significant values of the movement, whose founder strongly believes that the followers of different religions should accept basic values such as love, respect, tolerance, forgiveness, mercy, human rights, brotherhood, and freedom, which are highlighted by the different world religions. For Fethullah Gulen, the diversity of religion is like a symphony of God's blessing and mercy, brought together in a collaborative unity. In fact, Fethullah Gulen believes that the diversity is necessary and different beliefs, races, customs, and tradition will continue to coexist in this global village. He sees love as the essence of tolerance. As he stated, love is the most essential element of every being, and it is the most radiant light, and it is the greatest power, able to resist and overcome all else. For Fethullah Gulen, interfaith dialogue is the very nature of religion. Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, and Buddhism, as well as the other world religions, accept the same sources for themselves and pursue the same goal. He states, as a Muslim, I accept the prophets of books sent to different prophets throughout history, and regard belief in them as an essential principle of being Muslim. A Muslim is a true follower of Abraham, Moses, David, Jesus, and all other prophets. Not believing in one prophet or book means that one is not a Muslim. Thus, we acknowledge the oneness of basic unity of religion, which is a symphony of God's blessings and mercy, and the universality of belief in religion. So religion is a system of belief embracing all races and all beliefs, a road bringing everyone together in brotherhood. Fethullah Gulen frames this educational philosophy.
Come up to the...
Oh, yes, it's only half a page.
Way beyond our time, sir.
Gulen schools are secular, but they try to maintain a balance between the needs of the individual and the society. As a conclusion, I would say there is no doubt that freedom of religion or belief is one of the main issues the humanity currently faces. Every day we hear news regarding persecution, imprisonments, torture of people all over the world on grounds of religions and belief. Dissenters and members of religious minorities are harassed. Churches, mosques, and temples are the target of attack. The so-called apostates are sentenced to death. Blasphemy laws are implemented, and many religious groups suffer of different forms of discrimination. Indeed, religion becomes a reason for war and terrorism. It is only by the implementation of the right of religious freedom that peace may be reestablished in society. Governments, parliaments, courts, civil society or organizations, religious or belief communities, international organizations, scholars, and the media should be all involved in the process of implementation of the basic human rights and values that have been proclaimed by the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, 1948. However, to defend the right of religious freedom and to accept the important role of different religions play in society,